if there's a rabbit hole that is BTS, I am like on the very, very edge of it, like looking down into the abyss, and I'm like, this is not a good situation. Hey guys, welcome to Lex Listens. I first am going to start off this video with like a monologue moment, but I am going to be reacting to two videos that have been very highly recommended. Well, the first one, very highly recommended. The second one I just saw while I was looking for the first one, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do them together because I feel like they go together. And those videos are This Is BTS and This Is BTS Army, and they're both by xCeleste. Celeste? I think that's how you pronounce it. And these are just videos to like help me get to know BTS, know their fandom, and all of that kind of thing. But first, I just want to have a little monologue moment, and you can skip to this time if you'd rather just see the reaction for sure. But I just have a detailed list of some things I wanted to put out there because it's been a while since I filmed. I've kind of filmed all my BTS reactions like close together, and that was before I even had subscribers really. I think I had like maybe 4 or 5 subscribers at that point. Like I really did not have many subscribers, and I think now I'm at, let me check. As I'm filming this currently, I am at 469 subscribers. So first of all, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all of the overwhelming support. Like, I feel like I've had a lot to say because it's been a while, and I went from literally like nothing to having over 400 subscribers, almost 500. And I wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love music. I love reacting to music, and it's always been like one of these things that's been at the back of my mind that I should maybe try, like reacting to music. And I really never thought that anybody would care to watch, and I thought it'd just be kind of a side hobby. So thank you so much for subscribing, all of your really kind comments, the likes, all of it. I really, from the bottom of my heart, really appreciate it. Now I have my list of things I wanted to say, so let me get into it. So the first thing, I learned, a lot of these things are things I learned or things I just wanted to comment on. So I learned that K-pop is not necessarily like a genre of music, but more so an industry. So in my like very first video reaction, I'm like, oh, I didn't know K-pop could sound like this or whatever. But really, BTS is a lot more than K-pop from what I've read in my comments. BTS has dabbled in a lot of different genres like pop, hip-hop, rap, and I'm sure more ballads. You guys told me the lyrics could be really emotional and meaningful, and also I learned that maybe I should look up some of the meaning behind some of the lyrics because some things might not translate or might be Korea specific, or I might just not get in general. So definitely learned that. Thank you guys for helping me out and like cluing me in on some of this stuff. I also learned that Koreanish is not a word, but Konglish is, which is kind of the combination of Korean and English. However, in some videos, it's more so that they're speaking in Korean with just English words mixed in. It's not necessarily like they're speaking like Konglish. They're just saying some English words within their Korean speaking, so it's not as like mixed, if that makes sense. I wanted to touch on their songs in English versus their songs in Korean. So obviously I probably would have a tendency towards the English songs because I understand them better. However, that's more off of a first listen basis. It's not necessarily off of like a long-term basis. So far, of the 6 music videos that I've reacted to, my favorite song that has been on repeat is Mic Drop, and I cannot, like, that song's stuck in my head. I wake up and I'm like humming it. It's stuck in my head. I can't get it out of my head. Somebody help, send help, because that song is just so catchy, so amazing, and it's not one of their English songs, not one of their mainstream songs. I mean, it has English in it, but it has a lot of Korean in it too. It's not fully English. So I just wanted to like put it out there that yes, off of a first listen, I might be like, oh, this song's in English. That's super convenient for me because I'm an English speaker. But like long term, it really doesn't bother me whether the song is in English or Korean. I really like songs in other languages and don't really have a preference long term. it's just off of the first listen, it is a little bit more convenient for me as an English speaker to hear English lyrics. However, I don't necessarily even wish that they would make English music. I like both styles of music. I think it's really cool that they could do both. So, moving on, English versus Korean. Don't really care what their songs are in. Don't really have a preference, although English is easier for me to understand. I wanted to comment on why I edit the videos the way that I do. Sometimes I like chop out little parts, and I got a lot of comments saying like, oh, don't chop up the videos, like it's disrespectful, or don't chop them up so much or whatever. And I am trying my very best not to chop it up. However, the reasons why I do ever chop it up is due to my dog, number one, because he'll bark, he'll chase my cat, and my cat will be meowing in the background. In the background, my cat and my dog fight like crazy. And then also, if my daughter's awake right now, she's taking a nap, but when she is awake, she screams, she babbles, she talks a lot, and I can't really like erase that. And I think it's annoying to hear a child scream or cry or anything like that. So that's the reason why I chop up my videos. I try not to chop them up if I can. Another thing, if I comment on something, if I'm like, oh, this song's in English, oh, they said this. Like anything that I'm saying is just kind of like thoughts as they come to my brain. It's not really like a deep thought or like anything into it. It's kind of just like a comment of what my genuine reaction is, what I'm actually thinking. And it's just a comment. It's just an observation. It's not necessarily anything bad. I learned that I should not try to tell them apart by their hair color or hairstyle, because neither will stay the same and they probably will change like every 2 minutes. Last thing that I wanted to talk about is biases. So this is something that I learned in my comments. So basically I don't know if this is like army talk, like you guys use these terminology, or this is just general talk, I don't know, so let me know. But basically you can have like a bias towards like a certain member in BTS, and that's considered your bias. So like for example, some people, their bias might be like Jungkook or something, I don't know. But you could have a bias, but then if you start to like another member, then you steal the bias. Guys, please leave comments down below explaining this to me again, because I kind of forgot the comment. But I also know there's something where if you like all 7 equally, it's called like the OT7 or something similar to that, basically saying that you like all 7 equally. So I wanted to talk about this because obviously I've done 3 videos now on BTS, and I'm having a hard time because at first my bias was probably either Jin, because I could recognize him easily, or also like in my first video I really had like a bias, I guess, towards Jimin. But now it's becoming more and more of a struggle, because struggle is a loose term, please don't take it personally, but it is becoming a little bit more of a struggle, because I'm like, you know that game like F, Marry, Kill, like that you play in like middle school, high school, I don't even know when you play it, but the game where basically like you give 3 people and you're like, you have to kill one and marry one. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about like BTS, like kind of similar concept. I'm like, what would I do to each one? So I'm like, well, I would definitely marry Jin. I would definitely Jimin. And by the way, guys, I'm fully married, very happy in my marriage. I'm just obsessed with... Did I just say obsessed? I'm not obsessed. I'm just thinking. And then I was like, but also, I wouldn't want to kill any of them. But I would want to be maybe best friends with RM. I would maybe want to be best friends with RM because he loves nature and reading and stuff. But then also I'd want to be best friends with J-Hope because I think he's the one that likes to cook. And I would love somebody who would like to cook and who can teach me how to cook better. And then I was thinking like even more, and I'm like, but really, I have a really big crush on Suga. Like, a crush. Like, like I just think he's the cutest thing ever. And I just like kept like spiraling and basically realizing that if there's a rabbit hole that is BTS, I am like on the very, very edge of it, like looking down into the abyss, and I'm like, this is not a good situation. It's happening, guys. Like I can't control it. It's happening. Like I feel like BTS might be taking over my body, and I'm only 3 videos in. I've only watched 6 music videos and 1 introduction video, and I'm already like on the edge of the rabbit hole, like about to just dive in. Okay, this is pretty much the end of my monologue. I just wanted to address all of that, and normally I won't have this big of a monologue at the beginning of a video. However, it's a little bit different because I filmed all my videos right away, and then it took me a while to get to them to edit. And then by the time they were edited, it was like all of these people rolling in, all these new subscribers, people trying to help me in the comments, and I haven't addressed it yet. So hopefully from now on, it'll maybe just be like one thing that I might say at the beginning of a video, but I'm kind of caught up on all the things I've been wanting to say to you guys. Let's get into this video. Let's get into this reaction. Just one more time, thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're a subscriber, if you liked any of the videos, if you commented, tried to help me, your sweet comments, like I read literally every single one. So thank you so much.
How many of you have heard of BTS?
Who is BTS and why are they so popular? BTS is a 7-member group from South Korea. While the words boy band are often associated with the image of screaming teen girls, that is far from reality. First, there's nothing wrong with being a young person showing love for something you enjoy. But what if I told you about 24% are in their 20s, 28% are in their 30s, and 21% are in their 40s?
Wow. So looking at this chart, basically 50% of BTS fans are like 29 and younger, and then 50% are 30 plus. That's a very interesting distribution. I wonder if it's why, I guess why. If you guys know anything like more about why it's like split age-wise, because that is pretty uncommon for a boy band. Definitely leave it in the comment below, please.
Take a closer look at this age and gender demographic for BTS's 2020 Map of the Soul ticket sales. Females ages 25 and up made 46% of web traffic, and 31% were males. BTS's fans, named ARMY, will often tell you BTS is not your typical boy band. And why? To get a better understanding, let us go back to the beginning. BTS was created by Big Hit Entertainment, whose mission statement is music and artists for healing. The company, and namely their CEO, Bang Si-hyuk, wanted BTS to be sincere and genuine figures that people could easily relate to and grow with.
I mean, from what I've seen, I think he succeeded because all of my comments are saying like how sincere, real they are, and how their personalities almost make the music like very good, but like their personalities are what made them what they are, if that makes sense.
Not immaculate idols groomed amid studio culture, but real boys who shared their authentic personalities and talents with the world. Which is why BTS stands for 방탄소년단, Korean for Bulletproof Boy Scouts. Bangtan meaning to be resistant to bullets, so it means to block out stereotypes.
Oh, that I was wondering. I saw that in the last introduction video that it was like Bulletproof Boy Scouts or something, or maybe in my comments, and I was like, that's really strange to say like bulletproof, like I mean, not really, but like it just didn't fit their vibe. But that makes sense to like block out stereotypes and like expectations that are normally aimed at adolescents like bullets. Wow, that's very interesting.
Criticisms and expectations that are aimed at adolescents like bullets to preserve the value and ideals of today's adolescents.
Oh wow, J-Hope said that.
In 2017, BTS rebranded their name and logo representing their growth and maturity, extending the meaning to beyond the scene. The new door-inspired logo symbolizes youth who don't settle for their current reality and instead open the door and go forward to achieve growth. BTS debuted on June 12, 2013 with 7 members: RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. All 7 members came from different parts of Korea. So at first, living together in a small apartment
They live together? No way.
was a challenge. Their CEO, Bang Si-hyuk, created a method for the boys whenever they got into an argument.
일단 싸워도 된다. 싸움을 두려워.
First off, it's okay to fight. We teach them that our conflicts grow because we are afraid of fighting.
때문에 우리 갈등이 커지는 거다라고 가르치고요. 그다음에 마지막으로는
Last but not least, however, the conflict must be resolved together with all 7 members.
해결은 7이 같이 하는 거다. 싸움은 둘이 해.
Even if the fight is between 2 members,
해결은 7
the conflict should be resolved together with all 7.
명이 같이 해라. 하기 너무
Even if they fight about something that's too embarrassing to even talk
피한
about.
걸로 싸움을 해도
In the end, they come together and tell me,
결국은 같이 와서 저희가 이런 문제를
the 2 of us fought about such and such issue,
둘이 싸웠는데 이렇게 해서 이렇게 해결했습니다.
and this is how we resolve the
하고
conflict.
그런
I feel like this is what strengthens the team's bond or
부분들이
synergy.
이 팀의 친화력을 혹은 시너지를 강하게 만들고 있지 않나 이렇게 생각됩니다.
Over the years, the
Very
boys have
cool.
come to love each other despite their difference in personalities, to the point where they'd feel incomplete with one member missing. They became each other's strength and support and formed a brotherhood.
내 머릿속에는 옆에 멤버들이 있어.
That's my boy. Alright, we're gonna continue.
뭔가 자연스러운 그러니까 뭔가 내 핸드폰이나 지갑처럼 없으면 불안한 그런 것들 있잖아.
So sweet.
그죠. 소중하다 못해 없으면 안 될 사람들이긴 하죠. 왜냐면은 넘어져도 저 혼자 일어나는 게 아니라
That is so
같이
sweet.
일어나는 거니까.
Oh my goodness.
생각을 해보면 이런 7명이 어떻게 모였을까라는 생각이 들어요. 이제는. 네.
When I think about it, it makes me wonder, how did the 7 of us come together?
지냈다고
It's
해서
not simply a matter
될
of us
문제는
spending a
아니에요.
long time together.
어떻게 보면은
In a way, I
운명인
think
것
we were
같아요.
destined to meet. Yes.
되게
It may
유치하지만.
sound really corny,
그냥 운명이었던
but I think it
거예요,
was
이거.
fate.
네.
Their climb
Oh my gosh, like all of them are so sweet. Like,
top may seem sudden to those who didn't follow their journey, but it was far from a walk in the park. BTS's company, Big Hit Entertainment, started off small and faced numerous hardships, even coming close to bankruptcy.
wow. So that's interesting because I always did kind of think that they came kind of out of nowhere, because even like K-pop, like I never grew up hearing about K-pop, and then all of a sudden BTS was so big here in the United States where I live. I did feel like they kind of came out of nowhere, because they went from like no one hearing about them here to like a couple people like in passing saying that they really like BTS, which was interesting.
Big Hit wasn't a large company at that time. They lacked the resources for promoting BTS. Even
Wow.
getting the chance to debut was a fluke. Their debut performance opportunity came about because a music show needed a filler for someone else's spot.
Oh, they look so small.
Even after they debuted, their performances would often get cut. And if they did make it on air, their screen time was very short, since Big Hit didn't have the power or influence bigger companies had over broadcasts.
That's so sad. Look at how little
Since
they
they
are.
were
My
often
God.
not invited to a lot of big variety shows, the company found their own way to communicate with their audience through platforms such as YouTube. By vlogging their journey, they allowed us to
were
discover their
vloggers?
personalities. They also created their own variety shows and often live streamed with fans.
I knew about the
They
live
honed their
streams.
crafts for hours on end, practicing in the dance studio and producing.
I'm not surprised. They must have to work so hard to dance and look so effortless. Like it really looks effortless, and they are all in sync so perfectly. I can't imagine.
music, returning home at dawn to all sleep in one bedroom. 2 years of hard work and not knowing where they'd end up, they finally won their first music show award. Yet, as they grew in popularity, they were falsely accused of sajegi, which is
What's
when
that?
a company buys their own artist albums to boost sales for the charts.
Oh no.
That's because people couldn't believe a group from a small company was selling well, ignoring the fact that a small company wouldn't have the resources to pull off such a scam. These were just a few of...
That's J-Hope, I think. And that is so sad. I don't want to see anybody cry on this. I cannot watch anybody cry from that group. All right, let's keep watching.
their hardships and struggles. I created a separate video highlighting their past hardships. I'll link that in my description box.
Oh no.
Throughout the years, BTS were able to reach impressive milestones while continuing to sing in Korean. They shattered cultural language barriers with music and
cool.
attracted an international audience. They grew organically by staying true to themselves while building a genuine connection with their fans from around the world. During an era where streaming numbers have gone up and traditional album sales have gone down, BTS has become an industry anomaly. Their
Wow.
latest
Oops, I didn't mean to pause it.
album, Map of the Soul 7, released February 21, 2020, is the best-selling physical album of the year. And they
Wow.
sold over 500,000 copies in just the United States alone. The biggest
Wow.
kicker? Well, BTS did this without a single bundle. And what does bundle mean? Artists would bundle merchandise or concert tickets with the album's sales. For
really?
example, a copy of an artist's album, digital or physical, would be included in every t-shirt sale or ticket sold for their
Copy of the album would be... Oh, and that's interesting. It's Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift. I've never heard of anybody doing this, though. I didn't know that was like a common practice. Like, when you sell a t-shirt, you get a free... Oh, well, maybe I have heard of it before. That's interesting.
concert. These sales would count towards charting numbers and become an industry-wide tactic in the US to help boost sales figures and in
Wow.
effect climb up the Billboard charts. In a 2019 New York Times article, they said about half the 39 titles that topped the charts last year were sold as part of ticket or merchandise bundles. Without the help
Interesting.
of bundles and driven by the power of armies alone, BTS were able to beat a lot of historic records, such as Michael Jackson's
The Beatles' 22-year record as fastest group with the most number one album. Adele's 5-year record with most number ones on iTunes. Michael Jackson's 36-year record as first foreigner artist to top number one icon. Number 10 icon? I don't know what that says. Celine Dion's 24-year-old record with 1 million pre-orders in Japan. Very interesting.
6-year record and the Beatles' 22-year record. While these musical acts are famous around the world, Suga has said it's a great honor to be called the Beatles of the 21st century. At the same time, it's a bit pressuring to be called that. We are BTS. We want
they
to
seem
be
so
the
sweet.
BTS of the 21st century. The members themselves have always been involved in their music and engaged with their fans, even before they officially debuted. From their debut album, Too Cool for School, in 2013 to their most
Wow,
recent Map of the
look at
Soul
them.
7. All 7 members have contributed as either writers and or producers on every album.
That's
All
so
of
cool. I
BTS
love when people
are
produce
associate
and write their
members
own
of the
music.
Korea Music Copyright Association. And as of August 2020, J-Hope, Suga, and RM were all promoted to full members of the association.
That's very cool.
They even create music that's released for free on SoundCloud as gifts to their fans.
Aw,
Much of their work
nice.
touches on subjects like mental health, youth and female empowerment.
Wow. So that's very interesting. Like, a lot of people have said that their music touches on like different subjects that are more deep, but I didn't know like mental health, youth, and female empowerment. That's so cool of them. It's very awesome.
Touches on subjects like mental health, youth and female empowerment, child abuse, cyberbullying, self-love
Wow.
and development, and socioeconomic injustices. Much of their work is also inspired by past writers and thinkers. Their latest series, Map of the Soul, incorporates psychological concepts by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. BTS is
Interesting.
not afraid to use their platform to amplify underrepresented voices and issues, taking numerous risks with their career while receiving backlash from people in power. BTS are also as charitable as they are talented. Throughout the years, members have been donating individually and as a group. BTS rarely publicize donations, so fans often find out about them if media organizations uncover the details. One of BTS's
That's
few public
awesome.
announcements was in November 2017 for their Love Myself campaign. They partnered with UNICEF to create a campaign aimed at protecting children and teenagers from around the world, with the hope of making the world a better place through music. BTS and their company, Big Hit Entertainment, pledged 500 million Korean won and donated 3% of the income from the sales of physical albums
Wow,
of
good
the
for
Love
them.
Yourself series, along with 6 other fundraising initiatives, including the Love Myself merchandise, where 100% of its proceeds were pledged to the cause. The Love
Wow,
Yourself
that's
series,
so
which
crazy.
contained 3
Wow.
albums total, sold
So that's another thing. If somebody could please explain in my comments about this. So I think their albums might come in like series of albums, like different parts. Like they're 3 separate albums, but they might be in the same series, like this. Can somebody explain to me like the order of their albums, what the overarching maybe theme is of each series, and if I'm using the right terminology even, I'm not even sure if that's the right way to say it, but if somebody could please explain their albums to me, that would be much appreciated. Thank you.
7 million copies worldwide. On September 24, 2018, BTS was invited to deliver a speech about the Love Myself
I think I
campaign
saw part of
at
the
the
speech
United
in
Nations
my last
General Assembly.
introduction video.
On January 15, 2020, Formula E announced their partnership with BTS to help combat climate change. On June 3, 2020,
This is from BTS. We stand against racial discrimination. We condemn violence. You, I, and we all have the right to be respected. We will stand together. Black Lives Matter. Wow.
BTS tweeted their support for
I'm just
Black
very
Lives
impressed by
Matter.
them right now,
A
honestly.
few days later, Variety reported that BTS and Big Hit Entertainment
Wow.
had donated $1 million to support the Black
That's a
Lives
lot
Matter
of money.
movement. When
Wow.
armies got wind of the news, they matched their $1 million donation in
Wow.
one day. Now, these are just a couple of their acts of charity. With their socially conscious music, BTS created a new fandom culture that brings together fans from different national and racial identities.
That's
This
been clear.
led to the emergence of bilingual army volunteers who translated BTS Korean lyrics and videos in their language almost real time, making the content immediately available to non-Korean speakers. We may
Wow.
all speak different languages, but their music and their message connected people from around the world with different ethnicities, background, gender,
Wow.
and age. BTS has also expressed their love and respect for ARMY countless of times, such as always mentioning them first during speeches,
Oh.
responding to fans on their social media app Weverse, showing their appreciation for ARMY projects, halting rehearsals for the Muslim prayers in Saudi Arabia. The youngest member, Jungkook, even got the fandom name tattooed on his hand.
Wow.
Together with ARMY, they grew as individuals and as artists.
저는 굳이 영향력
Boy. He says, I don't want to achieve anything as grandiose as being influential.
을 주는 거창하는 것을 안 원하고 그냥 저희를
As long as the people watching us are happy and smiling.
보는 분들이 행복하고 웃을 수 있다면 그걸로
팬이란 게 진짜 뭘까 막
I often think about the meaning of having fans.
생각을 가끔 많이 하거든요. 결국 그 사람들
They are the reason we
때문에
perform on
결국 이렇게
stage.
서는 거라서 그 봐주는 사람들
The people watching us are the reason why we sing and perform.
때문에 결국 우리는 그 사람들한테 진짜
Ultimately, we have to be
감사해야
really grateful to
되고
them. We have to do our best in every aspect of our performance.
간단하게
Like, this is what I'm saying. To put it simply,
가수를 하고 있는 어떤
I think it's the main
제일
reason why I
중요한
became a singer.
이유인 것 같아요. 저는 뭐
It's not that I don't enjoy doing TV shows,
쉽지 않지만
but I think concerts are the reason why I'm in BTS.
방탄소년단을 하고 있는 이유가 맞는 것 같아요.
It would be, I've only been to like a music festival. I've never really been to like a straight up concert where it's just one artist for a very long time. But already I could tell they would be amazing to see like live in concert. I can't imagine.
참 다행히도 내가 원래
All right, Suga. Luckily, I'm making music with the kind of message
메시지 하고 싶었던
that I've always
그걸
wanted to
하고 있어서 참
send,
다행이라고 생각을
which
해요.
makes me
그런
feel
때문에
fortunate.
되게
That's why I
그렇게 살고 있는 것 같아요.
live my
긍정적인
life the way that I
에너지.
do. It gives out positive energy.
일단 이 일을
Oh my god, they're all gonna say something. I can't handle this. Like I. Okay, J-Hope. Firstly,
좋아하는 거,
the fact that I like the work
일을
and love what I
사랑하고
do
좋아하는 게 저게 큰 영향을
has a major
주는 것
influence
같아요.
on me.
왜냐면 이 일을
If I didn't want to be in this line of work
실증이 나고
and I was sick and
하면은
tired of it,
무대
it would
위에서
show on
나타나기
stage.
때문에 이 일을
It's because I
굉장히
really
사랑하기
love my
때문에
job
내가 무대 위에서
that I can go on
퍼포먼스를
stage to
하고
perform and
있고
sing.
노래를 할 수 있는 것 같아요.
계속 와서
Seeing them there, this is V,
그리고 이렇게
and seeing the
저희를
sincere expressions of love on their faces.
좋아해주는 그런 표정들, 힘들 때
When things get hard,
그런
seeing their faces
표정들이
gives us more strength.
저에게 더 힘을 주는 것 같아서
여러분을 저희를
RM,
알아봐
it's
주신
you who made us
여러분들이라면
realize our dream.
여러분의 꿈이
If not your
아니라
dream,
여러분의
oops, I
삶을
missed it.
알아봐 주신 여러분들이라면 여러분의 꿈
If not your dream,
꿈이
your
아니라
life,
여러분의 삶,
to your life,
여러분의 인생의
someday
문제가
if
저희의
our
존재가,
existence,
저희의
our
음악,
music,
저희의
our
무대가,
stage, our
저희의
photos or
사진,
videos,
영상이 여러분한테 아주
if all of that can help
조금이라도
you even just a
아픔이
little,
되기라면
if your
그
pain is
100을
100 on a
99,
scale of 100 and we can lessen that to 99, 98, or 97,
97로 만들어줄 수 있다면
if we
그걸로
can only
저희의
make that, oh my god, the captions are going too fast. Why am I getting emotional over this?
100을 99, 98, 97로 만들어줄
If we can only make it like that,
수 있다면 그걸로 저희
with that, the value of our existence is enough.
존재의 가치는 충분합니다. 정말 사랑.
I really love you. You know what, RM? I freaking love you too. Like, in my head, we're already besties, so I don't know why this is getting me like kind of emotional. I feel kind of embarrassed almost. Like, that is so cool. Like, that is so cool. Like, I don't have anything else to say. That's just, it's really cool how they are really like there for their fans. I think that's one of the coolest things ever. Okay, I need to go back just so I can watch him like look at the camera like that again. All right, one more time.
그걸로 저희의 존재의 가치는 충분합니다. 정말 사랑합니다.
Okay.
Their love for ARMY has also helped them decide on re-signing another 7-year contract with Big Hit Entertainment. They mentioned doing it for their fans and not for money.
Wow.
So while people often discredit BTS's talent, likening their popularity to superficial aspects,
No, I can already tell 6 music videos in, they aren't superficial. They aren't superficial. Like,
come with the image of a boy band. It is their development of personalities and sincerity towards their art and their fans that made their fandom the size and reach that it has become. I hope people will come to realize that BTS is more than just their singing and their dancing skills.
that's what I keep
They're
hearing,
not just
girl.
performers, but artists who have healed and inspired millions of people around the world. For a deeper dive into BTS, please refer to these websites, apps, and ARMY accounts to stay updated.
That was very beneficial. It was so the original like introduction video I watched was very much like each member trying to like say who's who kind of. And this video was a lot more like BTS as a whole, big picture kind of thing, which I really appreciated. And it showed how charitable and sweet and nice they are, like, and how they really didn't come out of nowhere. They really worked hard and like grinded and lived together in all these bunk beds. I'm like, oh my goodness, they are the real deal. This one's called This is BTS ARMY, Introduction to BTS Fans. And the reason why I wanted to watch this is just because obviously all of you who are subscribing to my channel majority of you are BTS fans, ARMY, and I feel like maybe I should get to know you guys as well because you guys are subscribing to watch me watch them, so like why not? So let's watch this one. All right.
The BTS Army.
BTS Army.
BTS Army.
BTS Army.
BTS Army.
Who is the BTS Army? ARMY was officially established for BTS on July 9, 2013.
That's a long time ago.
The meaning of a military army is implied, tying in with the name of BTS, which stands for 방탄소년단, or Korean for...
You know what? That makes so much sense because I was wondering why, like, ARMY is like it's a cool fandom name, but I'm like, it doesn't really seem like it relates that hard to like BTS. Like, I don't know. Like, you think of like other fandom names, it's like Ariana Grande, the Arianators. Like, it's normally like a part of their word specifically. So I was wondering why they were called ARMY, but that makes sense because the Bulletproof Boy Scouts, the bulletproof part, ARMY. That makes sense.
Proof Boy Scouts. ARMY is an acronym for
And it's an
Adorable
acronym.
Representative MC for Youth.
What's MC?
Given to them in hopes that they will raise their voices and stand with BTS in support of the underrepresented values they often address
That
in
is
their
so
work.
cool.
ARMYs in its early conception and demographic spoke for the youth, walking alongside BTS to block out stereotypes, criticisms, and expectations imposed on adolescents, actively working to defend and preserve the value and ideals of today's youth.
Wow.
While what initially draws in new fans may be their talent and their catchy melodies, many grow into dedicated armies due to BTS's core values, missions, and social messages, which have been magnets for the diversity of the fandom.
Wow.
BTS is adamant on their stances against bullying, abuse, and the current socio-economic norms. They seek to empower youth and women, promoting mental health, self-love, and self-development. They have inspired many fans to better themselves and be active in fighting against
That is
social
so cool.
injustices.
I'm still not over it.
ARMY
It's so
started
cool.
small but passionate, much like BTS. However, one stereotype that incessantly follows the fandom is that of screaming hormonal teenage girl.
Which I now know is not true because they showed us the demographic.
I think it is important to note that there are passionate fans in almost all disciplines and subcultures, most notably in the sports
Very
world.
true.
I do often wonder why it's socially acceptable for boys and men to show their undying love and support for something they're...
That just like rendered me speechless for a second. Why is that? Why is it okay for boys and men to show their undying love and support for something that they love, like that they're super fans of, but not for women? For women, it's like you're a hormonal teenage girl. Wow. Celeste is saying something here. I need to keep watching because I can't put my thoughts together even. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
It's socially acceptable for boys and men to show their undying love and support for something they're fanatic about. Yet, girls and women are so often belittled for their enthusiasm.
Wow.
To help you visualize, take a look at this graph from Research BTS, showing similarities and differences between sport fans.
Wow.
Boy band fans. Also, note that older fans often have more disposable income. That helps them afford the band's merchandise and concert tickets, and creates an advertising market for the products the band promotes to older consumers.
My goodness, that's
including
crazy. I'm still
Samsung
thinking
phones
about it.
and Hyundai cars. Their dedication, passion, and organization has helped us support BTS through a myriad of paths, enabling BTS and armies to achieve incredible results such as getting BTS's single Dynamite to debut at number
I like
1
that
on
song.
the Billboard Hot 100 and staying in the top spot for 2 consecutive weeks. Only 44 songs in the chart's history have debuted at number 1, and only 20 of those songs remained on the top for a second consecutive week. With the success of Dynamite, BTS was recognized by the Recording Academy for their music for the first time, securing them a Grammy nomination for the Best Pop Duo Group Performance, making them the first Korean pop act to ever be nominated under this category.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Since then, BTS has achieved 3 #1 debuts on the Billboard Hot 100, with the most recent one being Life Goes On. Unlike their single Dynamite, which was sung in English, Life Goes On was sung in mostly Korean. The day Dynamite dropped, it had a total of 1,700 spins on the US radio, while Life Goes On only had 6 total spins on US radio. This made debuting Life Goes On at #1 even more impressive.
That is impressive.
Not only because of language, but because radio airplay accounts for a large portion of the Hot 100 scores. With the release of Life Goes On and the new album B, BTS topped multiple charts on its release week. Each achievement on this non-exhaustive list is remarkable in its own right.
The fact that only that one section is what drove them to be #1 on that song, which is mostly Korean. Imagine if they did have all the sections. Imagine if they did have the radio play and stuff like that. They would be unstoppable at that point, to be honest.
Archaic practices are often rooted in racism and xenophobia and redefined what a Korean pop act can achieve on the US charts. While they sell out stadiums and set and break records in the music industry, they've also nurtured a strong and loving community. On Twitter, crops of accounts unusual within a music fandom have been cultivated, such as BTS Army Medical Union, an account made by pre-med medical students and health professional fans who sought to make learning about medical science fun and accessible. Accounts like BTS Army Bar Association, made up of Army lawyers who took on the task to educate the fandom about laws.
Literally created a movement. It's not just one of those figurative, they created a movement. They created a movement. How many times am I going to say they created a movement? But you know what I mean? They really made, they made positive changes without even, wow, that's so crazy. I'm not even speaking words at this point, but it's crazy to me because sometimes people say this artist created a movement and they made an impact, they were charitable and they sang this one song about bullying, whatever. But they literally created a movement, way beyond any artist movement that I've ever seen. Wow, that's crazy. Let's keep watching.
Within the fandom to help keep organized and informed. There was even a project called the Purple Ribbon Project to help protect the members from getting mobbed while traveling through airports around the world. The efforts were seen by the band, and one of the members, V, even took pictures with the purple ribbons that were used. Not only do we help each other, but we also try to help the world around us. One of ARMY's main charity fan bases, One in an Army, created in 2018, is a collective that acts as a guide in global fundraising initiatives for fans to donate directly to charities. To give you an idea, here's the One in an Army's charity summary map from 2019. In 2019, more than 370 plus charity projects were created in different countries under ARMY. In 2020, when BTS's concert was cancelled in South Korea due to COVID-19, fans donated their concert ticket refunds to help with relief and prevention efforts. In June of 2020, moved by BTS's statement to show up support to the Black Lives Matter movement, armies all over the world who had already been donating to BLM causes band together and matched BTS's 1 million donation in just one day.
Wow, that's so many people donating
BTS never fails to talk very highly of ARMY, and other artists have also added to the praise.
The BTS Army. They're some of the most loyal, positive, and fun fans that you could ever dream of. And I just want to say thank you to all of them. Jimmy Fallon loves you.
The Army are great.
They're the most beautiful human beings.
Oh, I love
Halsey. So awesome. Also, they're so poorly represented in culture. as these like fangirl crazy, like mindless, and they're the opposite. They're like intelligent, they're funny, they're tasteful, they're charitable. Like they wanted to say thank you to me for something, and they organized something like charitable in my name.
That's awesome.
And they were like, what should we do for Halsey to say thank you? Like, should we stream her song? Should we this? And they're like, nah, she doesn't care about that stuff. Let's donate to a charity in her name. And like organized this whole thing, and then like did this like charitable thing for me. And they were like, this is our way of saying thanks, Halsey. Like, thanks. And I was like,
That's spectacular.
That is
and part
so
of me was
cool.
like, why isn't everyone?
I just got
doing this?
chills.
Imagine if everyone's fans thanked them by organizing charity in their name.
By helping others.
What a better place this world would be.
Like, that's work, man. That's work, and that's purpose, and that's changing the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive. Impressive.
방탄 팬이나 아미들이 라디오에 노래 좀 틀어.
Okay, so obviously when ARMY asked the radio to play BTS songs,
오케이.
they never just simply say okay. So the fans were ignored and oppressed.
절대로 그러지 않았습니다. 라고 하는 그 무시와 핍박을 정말
For countless occasions, but they never gave in. Whatever negative responses they got,
수없이 당해야만 했었죠. 그런데 팬들은 절대로 거기에 지지 않았습니다. 어떤 무시와 편견이 닥치더라도 끝까지.
the fans knew that BTS's music was awesome and had the power to change
왜?
people.
이들의 음악은 정말 훌륭하기 때문에 사람들을 변화시킬 수 있는 힘이 있기 때문에 널리 전파.
They had a historic mission to spread that music widely.
한다라는 뭔가 역사적 사명 같은 걸 가지고 있었던 거예요.
I hope that this video has given you valuable insight that ARMYs value positivity and kindness while actively fighting against prejudice, just as BTS does. So, despite constant pushback from the music industry, the media, and other fandoms, often being discredited, bullied, and stereotyped, BTS and ARMY continue to lift each other up. To learn more about BTS, their personalities, and more, please refer to these websites, apps, and ARMY accounts to stay tuned.
I feel kind of like speechless, to be honest. I was not expecting. I thought this video was going to be very similar to the last video where it kind of was like going through like each person, where they came from, like this is RM, he's the group's leader, blah blah blah. But it really was not about them. It was about like BTS as a whole and their impact on the community, their impact on their fans, their what they're about, their movement, all of that kind of thing. And I'm just like, I just wasn't prepared, to be honest. I was prepared for like, oh, this is Suga. This is what he does. This is who he is. Like, wow. I just wasn't prepared. I don't really have words at this moment. I think I need time to process, if I'm being real. Because, like, it's just so impressive. Alright guys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry that I don't have more to say, but honestly, I'm just like so shook. Like, I'm telling you, the rabbit hole is here, and I am right on the edge. This is the rabbit hole, this is me. You feel me? Like, okay, I'm done. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I need to go like eat a snack or something and think about life. Bye guys.